Hello, my Smooners. Welcome back to Being Mrs. S. How are you guys doing? Okay, so I think I told you guys that I was gonna do updates on my life on Ozempic, and they're typically supposed to be once a month updates, but I'm taking the time right now to do this one because I'm a little upset. Okay, so I started Ozempic. Oh, and before I continue, I just want everybody to know that I really appreciate that we are building a community here. You're part of my Smooners community, hashtag Smoon. And so I appreciate it if when you watch the videos, you subscribe, comment, like, share. These things are important because I want to know like how much of an impact what I'm doing is making. And I just would like to know that maybe in some form or fashion I am helping someone, I guess, because I mean that's what we're doing this. It's to help, it's to share what's happening, what's working for me, and if it's gonna end up working for you, well, why not? So so yes, please subscribe, like, share, and comment. And I am loving the comments that I have been receiving on my posts. Well, the first comments I got was about how the music was distracting on the very first video, but I listened to the video, and yes, you can hear the music, but you can also hear what I'm saying. So I would advise anybody who maybe saw those comments and moved on to go back and watch it. You could actually hear what I'm saying because I gave a lot of information in that video that I believe is like it's really good information. I want to address a few of the questions or comments that I got on one of my videos. There are two videos up right now. The first one is just telling you about my journey and how I started on Ozempic, and then the second one was just like a backup because people said they couldn't hear. The music was distracting, so I gave like a short summary on the second one. So now I'm going to address a few questions that people sent to me, and some you may see on the on either of the videos yourself. So one of the comments that I saw, this is the one that I want to address, and that is from Debbie Burgenti. And she says, I've been trying to get Ozempic 2.5, and I don't know that there's a 2.5. I'm guessing she meant 0.25 for 2 or more months now. And because of people using it for weight loss, I can't get it for my diabetes. This is not right. All right. So, and I did make a comment under that, and I had asked her to go back and watch my video, and I also made it clear that this drug is not just for diabetics. It's not just for type 2 diabetic, because really type 1 diabetic, you definitely cannot use this drug. And so the reason I'm making this video is just to reiterate the amount of research I did on my own before getting on this drug. And definitely you can go do your own research and go out there, and you're going to find out about GIP and GLP-1 and all these different things, these hormones that are released in the intestines that kind of monitor how your body handles insulin production and satiation and things like that. When you go and do this research, you're gonna be like, wait, what? I didn't even know this was a thing. So basically, I started off by telling you guys about my HCG journey, and I honestly think a lot of people who had success on HCG, maybe these scientists, this endocrinologists, and people who handle all these things that have to do with the way your system works as far as handling food and things like that. They probably were like, okay, maybe there's some sense to that, but maybe not that. Because even right now, HCG, nobody has FDA approved any use of HCG for weight loss. Nobody has done that. But I think the scientists were like, but there's some sense in it, because why is it working for some of them? Now, granted, as I stated, on HCG, you're cutting off everything, and there's a huge calorie deficit. So of course you're going to lose weight. But then there are I'm sure there's something in it as well that helped, because I lost a lot of weight on it in pretty short time, I might say. So I think they went and they said, well, maybe not HCG, but there's got to be something that we can tinker with that can help with respect to insulin production and diabetes and things like. And that's where this whole thing started. They saw all these GLP-1 agonists and this and that and this and that, and then they decided, oh my god, these things, there's so many of these enzymes or hormones or whatever they're called on their own help. When they combine them, there's this one it's called a trizepatide or something like. Okay, so Ozempic and Wegovy are semaglutide. Then there's trizepatide, where they combine this GIP and the GLP together. You just have to go out there and do the research. It's fascinating. So they came together and they figured out, if we can figure out how to use this to make your intestines do what they're supposed to do, tell this to, because everything is talking in your body, right? They're sending receptors to your brain saying, hey, calm down, you're a fool, don't eat anymore. This is what these class of drugs are doing, and they are magical. So in response to Debbie, when they figured out how these things worked, and they said, okay, we see it's not going to work for a type 1 diabetic who's just not even producing insulin, their pancreas is shot. We're not going to do it for that. We're going to do it for people who may have, some form of insulin production, but it's not enough to do what it's supposed to do for the body. So we're going to give you this. It's going to lower your A1C. It's going to, because what they found was that with type 2 diabetics, it's a lot of it is brought on by obesity, being overweight. That's where it comes from. And then your A1C is called into question. Your cholesterol levels, all these things. They all have to be working in a good way so that you can live a decent life. But when they're not working like that, then it becomes a problem. So they found all these things and they came up with these drugs. Semaglutide, Ozempic has been out. I think I mentioned it a long time ago. Semaglutide is Rybelsus, it's Ozempic, it is Wegovy. I cannot stress enough how very much they are exactly one and the same. They're not different. Where the difference is, Ozempic and Wegovy are subcutaneous injections. And then Wegovy has a much higher dose. That's the only difference. But they do the same thing. So when Debbie says to me, I've been trying to get this for 2 or more months now because people are using it for weight loss, I can't get it for my diabetes. You have to realize it's not just for diabetics, it is for weight loss. And it is designed for people who have a body mass index in the overweight class of 27 or more, with comorbidity, which means that you have some other kind of underlying disease, in which case we're talking about diabetes, type 2 diabetes. but it's also for people who have who are obese, class 2 and above, with a body mass index of 30 or more. And in that category, there is no need for comorbidity. There doesn't have to be a case of diabetes or whatever. You're overweight, you're obese, you're there. And I told you guys, I'm in that category. I'm in obese class 2. Now, when I never even knew there was something like that. But then when I started doing research, there's even an obese class 3. So I'm in obese class 2. So this drug is definitely designed for someone like me. Now, I can empathize and I understand where she's coming from, saying that it's not right. There are a multitude of diabetic drugs out there. Multitude. In fact, there's so many out there to the point that when my doctor wrote me my prescription and I went to get it, the pharmacy wouldn't fill it for me because they said my insurance doesn't cover it. My insurance is requiring a prior authorization. I talked about all this in the first video and I was like, what are you talking about? This drug is designed for me. Now, I understand if someone is 100 pounds, they don't have diabetes, whether type 1 or type 2, there's nothing wrong with them. They just want to lose 5 pounds and they go to their doctor and the doctor writes them a prescription for Ozempic. Now, Debbie, if that's who you're talking about, okay. But it's not me, and I really appreciate the comment because it allows us to have this conversation. But, that's not me. And I don't even know if I'm even bothered that somebody like that wants to get the drug. The problem doesn't lie with that person. The problem lies with their doctor who prescribed it for them. Why would you see someone who's 100 pounds, doesn't have issues with diabetes, they come to you and they say they want to lose weight, and then you write them a prescription for Ozempic? That has nothing to do with anything, and that's crazy, and that's that doctor's problem. But that's not the category I fall in. This drug was designed for me. It's semaglutide, whether you call it Rybelsus, Ozempic, or Wegovy, it is designed for me. Wegovy has the 2.4 meg dose that is for maintenance. So for my situation right now, I'm trying to lose weight. That is not the main reason I'm taking the drug. I'm taking it because I don't want to become diabetic. I don't want to be a type 2, to get into type 2 diabetes status. And I'm pushing there because when I did my blood work, my A1C was through the roof. Now, it's not quite to the point where, yes, I have the label of either, pre-diabetic or diabetic, but it's there. And it's a concern. So I'm taking this Ozempic because I want to lower my A1C, and it's also going to help me lose weight in the way that it causes, those messages to the receptors in my brain to say, hey, you're doing too much, slow down. And I need it. And I'm not ashamed or afraid to say I need the help, because where in the past it was much easier for me to lose the weight, right now, even though I'm very, very motivated and I'm doing everything that I need to do, it's tougher. I'm much older. Things are happening, and just the life changes that I have experienced have made it a lot more difficult for me to lose the weight. So Debbie, I'm really I empathize with you and I understand where you're coming from, but I promise you're not the only person who is having issues getting the drug. So this is the part where I'm a little upset and I want to talk to you about it. So Debbie, I hope I've helped you with that. I hope I've helped you understand. Do the research, you look at it yourself, you'll find out that Ozempic is designed for weight loss. And specifically for people in my class, not for someone who just wants to lose 2 pounds, is not overweight, is not obese, does not have issues with their A1C, they just want to lose weight. It's gonna work for everybody, but I don't know why anybody would want to do that. If it's not that serious, get in the gym, you'll be fine. But so let me tell you about the part that is upsetting. So now I think I told you guys that, and I just mentioned a little bit about it just now, that my insurance company covers the drug, but they need a prior authorization. So my doctors need to tell the insurance company why this specific drug has been prescribed for me. I'm not sure why they're doing that, but that's the stance on this. So they cover Ozempic. They do not cover Wegovy. At least from when I checked, I saw it. Same drug. They don't cover Wegovy. Wegovy attract. They all Novo Nordisk creations, and they're being pushed or advertised for different things. So Ozempic, which was FDA approved in 2017 for the use for type 2 diabetes. Wegovy was FDA approved last year, 2021, for weight loss. Saxenda, or whatever it's called, I can't remember. It's been out since 2015 for weight loss. Anyway, so it's the same again. Like I keep stressing it because I want you guys to understand. It's the name of the active ingredient is semaglutide. All these other names, Rybelsus, Ozempic, and Wegovy, are brand names that are given to identify, hey, we're pushing this for this, we're pushing this for this, we're pushing this for this. Rybelsus is the tablet. Ozempic and Wegovy are the subcutaneous injections. Wegovy has the highest dose of 2.4, and that's the maintenance dose. That's the highest dose, and that's why they're pushing that for weight loss. I'm not going to talk about Rybelsus because I'm not taking it. It's the pill form, and I think you have to take that daily. I'm going to stick to Ozempic and Wegovy because as I keep stating, they're exactly the same thing. The difference is that in Wegovy, you have the 2.4 dose for maintenance. But your process is exactly the same. It is a step process. You have to start with the lowest dose, 0.25. I think the reason you start with that dose is because they want you to take it and to see how your body tolerates the drug. You're really not supposed to see any significant weight loss with that first dose. But I won't call it significant, but I'd say I've lost about maybe 12 pounds since I started on Ozempic. But really and truly, you're not supposed to see that much with the 0.25 dose because it's really just for to see how your body reacts to it, and how you deal, what kind of side effects you get with that if you can tolerate it. So you're taking it once the same time of the week, once every week, and so that's that you're on the 0.25 dose. So the injection for the 0.25, if you see it, it says 0.25 on 0.5 because you go up to the next level of 0.5. So they have designed that pen to where you can give yourself the shot, either the 0.25 shot or the 0.5 shot. So when you start it, it's gonna be the same thing. It is a 2 ml pen, so you have potentially I think 8 shots. 2 ml. You have potentially 8 shots of the 0.25 or 6 shots of the 0.5. So I started with the 0.25. You take it once every week for 4 weeks, and thank God that there's that extra bit in it, the 1 ml in it. So I've done the 0.25 and now I've moved up to the 0.5. So I have 2 shots remaining in that one pen. This is the part that's really upsetting. So I have been contacting the pharmacy. My doctor has written the prescription. Now I need to get the prescription. At my local Walgreens where I got the first one, they had it there. Now they can send you a text message to tell you that your prescription is ready. And every time I checked, they kept moving it over the next day, until one day I checked and they said you don't have any prescriptions here. And I was like, what? So I called and I was like, Walgreens, what the heck is going on? And they said, oh, they can't seem to get the drug in. It's on back order. You might want to consider going somewhere else to get this drug. Can you believe that? Okay, so my insurance company has a home delivery. It's Optum RX, I believe that's what it's called. So while I was trying to get the drug from Walgreens, I also put the order in through Optum RX. I mean, because I was excited because they said, oh, you have to pay $100. I was like, yay! So I was like, I didn't know this. And then I went in there and was thinking that that was going to do the magic. So I placed the order and it looked like the order had gone through. Maybe within 2 days or the day after that, your order has been canceled. Your order has been canceled. And I'm like, what? And then I call. Their call center is in the Philippines or somewhere. They have a standard row of questions they ask you. And I'm like, listen, I'm not going to do the song and dance. Why are you canceling my prescription? Oh, the first time they said, oh, it's back ordered. Then the second time they said, oh, we tried to contact your doctor and we couldn't reach your doctor. And I'm like, what are you talking about? My doctor is the one who prescribed it. So if not, the order wouldn't have been in the first place. Now, all these different stories. And then finally they were like, oh, it requires prior authorization. And then I said, I don't need prior authorization if I'm paying for it out of pocket. Let's not play those games. Stop canceling my prescription. Fill the bloody thing so that I can get on. Now, I'm happy I started way back when to get this order going. And I think part of it was because, just like Debbie said, I'd heard that there was a shortage. I had not just heard, not just from her, I had read it because you see all these articles and you talk about Hollywood new wonder drug, this, that, this, because of that there's a shortage. And not just in this country, everywhere else that it is sold, there's a shortage. So I had heard there was a shortage and I was like, I can't wait till I'm on my last shot before I order it. So I'm like, nope, I am going to go ahead and do this. But every time they would cancel it, I just got so angry when I called. I was screaming. Guy said, oh, here's what happened. Okay, we'll take care of it this time. And then it just looked the same way it happened 7 or 8 or 9 times before it was happening again. And I was like, I'm not even about to wait because I have one more short of the 0.5 and then I'm done. I need to call and tackle this right away. So here's what happened. So I called and of course they started asking me all these questions like, just move this thing along because I'm not going to sit here and answer all these questions. Next thing you know, they transferred me to a pharmacist, the Optum pharmacist or something like that. And he starts telling me that, oh, your doctor prescribed this for weight loss. And I was like, okay, what's your point? And then he's like, well, there's another drug, Wegovy, that is for weight loss. And I said, okay, I'm not sure why you're telling me that. They're the same drug. Okay, they are the same drug, and I'm asking for the 0.5 of Ozempic. I'm not looking for 2.4 megs right now for Wegovy. You know, so he's asking me these questions and he's saying these things to me, and I think he's talking to me because he thinks I'm ignorant. I have no idea about what I'm putting in my body. I'm like, listen, that's not me. I don't put anything in my body that I don't think, I haven't done the research. So I'm giving him the facts, and he's just quiet. He's like, okay. I'm sorry, all right. I didn't know that you had already started the 0.25. I'm like, how many people and how many times am I going to tell you that? I'm already on Ozempic. I have started it, and the delay, because you're not supposed to skip. Now, they have a little, disclosure or whatever about if you happen to skip, here's what you need to do. You need to get on right away. I don't want to have to be in that position if I don't need to be. So I said, I've already started the 0.5. I don't want any issues. Send me this drug. Let me keep going. And I guess after talking to him, he realized that, okay, this is because I had to tell him, listen, I'm taking this drug because I have a high A1C and I'm trying to bring it down. You're telling me I should go to that there's Wegovy. I don't need to go to 2.4 Wegovy if at this dose right now I'm getting what I need to get from it. So I think I told you guys that I did my blood work, and that's how I saw how high my A1C was. So I'm moving up, stepping up to the 0.5 megs of Ozempic. Hopefully, you know, after this long drawn out conversation with the pharmacist at Optum, they're like, okay, we're working on it and we'll send it to you. Now, it was supposed to have been here yesterday because it was supposed to be a rush order. It isn't. And I'm breathing and I'm counting to 10 and I'm expecting it to be here the beginning of the week. So I'm not stressing too much. I'm not getting upset yet. But what's what I was saying? So it's a step process. So I've taken my first shot of the 0.5. Like as I told you, there's a little of that left in my first pen. I have one more shot of 0.5 in that pen. After I take that one, when I take my third 0.5 shot, I'm gonna go to the doctor and have another blood panel done just to see if there's been a change to my A1C. Now, if my A1C hasn't moved, if I'm still in that high range of where I was when I first got there, then when I finish this month of the 0.5, then we're gonna up the dose to the 1 meg of Ozempic. And then again, after maybe about a whole month on that, we'll go and do another blood panel. And if there's been a change, then I may stay on the 1. But if there is no change, then at that point, I will opt for a higher dose, or maybe I will then switch to Wegovy. But let me explain to you another reason why, you know, it's kind of annoying, and I can and I see why they're pushing Wegovy, and I think I told you guys about this before as well. With my insurance, if my insurance were to cover Ozempic, the cost of it is $802.53. So they cover the bulk, and I think all I'd pay was $100. On my own, I'm paying $1,125.75. Well, my first dose, the first that I got from Walgreens was $1,000. I can't remember what $1,000, but I had a $90 coupon from GoodRx, so it brought it down to $900 and some change. Ozempic. Wegovy is $1,349.02. Same drug, same step process, and it's at least a good $200 to $300 more than Ozempic. So that's another thing. So that I guess they're pushing it. If you're trying to lose weight, pay, you know, you need to spend money on the more expensive drug that is not covered by your insurance company, you know. So that's part of why I'm a little upset with my doctor, because I'm like, I don't understand why you're not trying to help. I think because when they did my blood work, or they're looking at someone who's generally in good health, like everything else is fine. The only issue I have is this A1C, and they're like, I'm not going to spend my time trying to talk with an insurance company. This is why I'm prescribing this drug for this woman. So whatever, fend for yourself. And I'm like, well, that's not their problem. It's my life, so I better look out for myself. I'm a huge proponent of if the oxygen in the cabin goes out and the mask drops, you know, mask yourself before you go help somebody else. I can't worry about what everybody else is doing. I have to worry about myself, and which is why I'm spending the money to do this, because it is, I'm not kidding. I am not kidding. It is a miracle drug. And there are other drugs out there that are supposedly even better than semaglutide, like the triziptide or whatever, the Manjaros or whatever, what those ones are called that I heard. They're supposedly even better. But so I'm like, I can only imagine, but this Ozempic is so good. It is so good that I'm blown away, and I'm very happy that this is what's happening, because as I told you, when I was on HCG, it was a complete overhaul of my eating habits. There were, well, I'm not a big sweets person anyway, but I had to cut all of that out. Salt, sugar, all those things. I couldn't cook with those things. I couldn't cook with butter. I couldn't cook with a lot of the oils out there. It was always bland food, and it was 500 calories daily, nothing more. Now, on Ozempic, I'm eating whatever I want. I'm cooking with my butter, I'm cooking with my oil, I'm eating every single thing I want. The taste of what I'm eating has not changed. Everything tastes like food. Everything is the way it's supposed to be. The difference is that now I know, I feel full, right? Like I start and it's like, okay, it's time to stop, and I'm like, no, I don't want any more. Okay, now I'm not hungry all the time. It's not I want to eat all the time. I have an appetite, but I don't feel hungry. So if I decided that I wanted to eat something, it's not because I'm so hungry and then I now stuff my face. It's just because I should eat. I should eat 5 small meals a day. Okay? Have my breakfast, have a little snack in the middle, lunch, a little snack in the middle, and dinner. And your heaviest food should be your breakfast. Eat like a king for breakfast, and then, have a salad for dinner. So it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's not forced. It's just naturally and organically and holistically. I am learning, getting a better relationship with food and alcohol and all of that. And this drug, it's just amazing. I don't know if they're giving awards for drugs. I would give this drug 100% all of the flowers it deserves, because it really does deserve the flowers. And I'm losing weight. Now, I'm not losing weight just based on I'm not eating, because I don't know what anybody else is doing. Remember, I keep telling you, and I didn't say that in the beginning, so let me say that now. This is my channel, or maybe I did. This is my channel. It's a full disclosure. It's about me. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm not telling you how to live your life. I'm not a doctor. All the research I did was based on me wanting to get on this drug. I'm finding out if it was something that was going to work for me. I met with my doctor, and then we decided this was a good course of action. So it's just amazing. It's doing what it's supposed to do. So I'm not just losing weight because I'm not eating as much, right? I'm just not gaining. When it comes to food, I'm managing what I eat, so I'm not gaining, right? The weight loss is coming from the combination of exercise. So I work out every morning. I get up in the morning, I go on the treadmill, and I spend at least 30 minutes on the treadmill. And I'm keeping myself active throughout the day. I get up from behind my desk, I walk around the house, go back, because I'm in front of the computer all the time. So I am exercising. I am cutting out certain bad foods, and I'm not cutting it out consciously saying, oh, I don't want to eat that. I'm just maybe I shouldn't have said that. I'm eating better. So in this house, at the start of the pandemic, we were eating out every day. We're ordering, getting deliveries, this, that, because nobody wanted to drive to the groceries to pick up groceries. So that's what we were doing until we could start ordering our groceries in. So we were eating out a lot. Now I am 90% of the food we eat in this house is cooked by me. I'm cooking. And maybe every once in a blue moon, we might order in or go out to eat. Very, very rare. For the most part, we're eating everything that I cook in this house. So that way I can manage my salt intake, what I'm putting, how much salt I'm using to cook. Because everything's preservatives, that's what salt is. So food out there is very salty. So I'm managing all that. And it's coming in, and that's where the weight loss is coming from. So, this is not really an update video, but I do want to talk about something, when everybody's talking about side effects and things like that. I told you one of the side effects for me, and I noticed that I'm crying more when I'm a little bit more emotional. And I don't know if I should talk about this because it's my personal business. But, oh my God, the love making for me is heightened. I'm feeling more of it. Not that it wasn't before or whatever. And I'm not trying to tell you my personal business, but that's one thing that I've noticed. There's some hypersensitivity that I'm noticing since starting this drug. And I mean, it's not to the point of cray. I actually quite like it. So is that it's not a bad side effect. It's a good side effect. So I'm here for it. But anyway, that's the full lowdown. This video is not an update. It's just I just wanted to address a few comments and then talk about my struggle with my insurance company and just getting the prescription myself. But I have moved up to the 0.5 meg dose. This coming Wednesday will be my second shot of it from my one pen that I've had. And I'm hoping that by the time I take this shot, my order would be here with me, so that I can give you a true update as far as my weight loss, how I'm doing as far as losing the weight. And I think maybe a few weeks after that, I will schedule an appointment with my doctor to do the blood work and give an update on what my A1C is at this point. But anyway, that's what I wanted to talk to you, my Smooners, talk to you about. I'm happy that you can join me and you're on this journey with me. But don't forget to subscribe, like, share, give me more of your comments, share it. Let me know if you're experiencing these things that I'm experiencing. I don't have any side effects yet, except for those things that I can stand to cry. It helps the eyes, so I don't mind the emotional part about it, and I 100% don't mind the sensitivity in the well, anyway, so yeah, that's the too much. That's the longest shot of it, but thanks for joining me, and I will circle back. And don't forget to live, laugh, love. Cheers, my Smooners.